Morning, folks. I am in Northern Virginia on my way to Central Virginia. Kind of rolled over at 4:45. Said, "Yep, I'm up. Let's go." What I'm doing today is I'm going to some small water, small river that I've been to before. I don't know, 20 some years ago. Fished it as part of a week-long, a little bit more than a week-long float trip. That we actually did part of it twice. Like, we did A to B, and then we reset it, and we camped along the side of the river wherever we found spots, and redid like half of it. Really fun trip with my fraternity brother Rob Carey, and those upper portions of our rivers are very small. They have a lot of overlooked, unpressured fish. The upper reaches of our watersheds are amazing, but they're also fragile in that if they become popularized, they're susceptible to the spot burn, right? So you won't see the put in. And really what I want to give you, I don't want to give you this spot. I want to give you all of the spots. I want you to hopefully be inspired to go and research upper sections of rivers. You'll go there and you'll look at it and be like, it's just a creek. It's too small. No, it's not. You're gonna have to cover more river miles to find as many fish, but the fish you're gonna find in some cases are as big, if not bigger, than the ones. I just put it to you this way: I'm gonna be within a few miles of where I caught my personal best by length river smallmouth at 22.5 inches in this upper section. So no real agenda on this one other than showing you, hey, go small to catch something big. I don't know if I'm gonna catch something big. I have in the past on this river and so many like it. Sort of had a change of heart on showing you this access point, mostly because I don't think you're not gonna do this. Someone might, but I need to show you some of the proof that I have that this is legal where I'm putting in, which is straight down. I've been to 3 other places that I scouted that were not either feasible or legal according to the OnX app. And I'm just going to zoom in on that picture without showing you where I'm at. You see the dot. I took a screen grab. That little notch that shows that I am on Virginia public land, and where I'm parked right behind me, is right here on the river. This is public. And I took a screen grab of this because I may not be able to pull it up later if I need to show it to someone that says, yeah, I've researched this and it is legal. The other one that I did is I took a picture of my truck showing that all 4 tires are off the road and that my side view mirror isn't blocking traffic. So those 2 things have been a hiccup for me in the past. Been ticketed, been towed. I'm learning, and I'm hopefully passing that knowledge on to you. But let's take a look at my gear. I keep things really lightweight and I'd say really simple, but I do have 5 rods and a good bit of tackle in a very compact, very, I won't even say lightweight, but a very compact assortment of baits. Let's take a look at that stuff. All right, so there's my very lightweight boat, which I'm going to use the straps here in a minute. I'm going to put two of those together and go. I don't think this gives proper perspective, but I'm getting past that poison ivy straight down. I think I got 15 feet straight down. Anyhow, got to get this stuff down first. Obviously, super lightweight paddle. Got a bump board, life jacket, net, 5 rods. And, you know, I can do that because look at all those rod holders on the back there. 4 pointed back, 1 in front of me. This is a new, I got 2 new products from Lakewood. This one I really like. This is what I've been doing with my food and other random things like Liquid Mayhem, camera mats, water, snacks, baby food. Yeah, it's nice to have it all in one. And yeah, I'm gonna use this terminology. Man purse. Yeah, look at this thing, man. So, pretty simple mesh bag, but this is good for carrying all those loose things. It's also going to be good at the end of the day for getting loose items up this embankment. Let's take a look at, I'm going to put down the Merce. Obviously the camera bag. Gotta have power for the camera. This is a Lakewood Sidekick Mini, and I've got finesse jigs there. I won't get into that. Got a lot of jig heads and random things in there, but look at all of these crankbaits that fit in there. All of these spinner baits. They're my finesse buzz baits. Pair of pliers. More Liquid Mayhem if I need it. There's actually sunscreen in there. Jackhammers. More crankbaits. Rattle traps. Jerk baits. A little bit of everything. And I clipped my leader to that. On the side pockets, one side has all of my bait fish, my scented jerk shad and diesel minnows, and the other side has all my craw and a little bit of everything else in there. So soft plastic, wired baits, including spinner baits, buzz baits, anything with trebles. So, you know, this, I just got this. And it carries a whole lot of stuff. And it's fairly concise. So, fairly compact. And I'll be able to get it down that hill pretty easily. There's the truck, and here's the 15-foot drop. Let's see how this goes. I actually shimmied down a different spot because I had so much poison ivy there. That is less, but I'm still going to have to lather up. Poison ivy, poison oak, poison sumac, poison everything. But I'm down, got all my gear right here. Let's lay out the kayak and start fishing. All right, we're ready. Gonna take a quick look at how I have things laid out, and then we'll hopefully catch some smallmouth. I've got 1, 2, and 3 rods there. I got 2 up front, there and there. And I'm gonna start out with that finesse buzzbait. It's laying there in the mud. And then this follow-up bait, the shiner colored scented jerk shad with the 1/10 ounce rigging bullets. I got that's an Anchor Wizard anchor, and the line goes through that Scotty. It's just basically an anchor boom attached to the base there, the Akatak switch pad that we glued on there. Got the foot control steering. I actually got it registered, but I don't have the motor today. I'm thinking that, you know, I can paddle this no problem, even if we cover miles. There's all my tackle. There's nothing in the back, tackle-wise. There's food and water. There's my camera bag. There's the GoPro. And there's the Dakota lithium battery for the GoPro. And I got a bump board in there. So that's the whole thing, and it came down from there. Oh, you got off on the second cast. Getting bit already. This is what you get with the small waters. They don't think about it. They just jump on it because they don't see it. They don't see the pressure. Huh. You're a fall fish. Oh. Smallmouth on literally the first cast with the buzzbait. Little guy though. That one's a little bit better. So that little guy slashed at a buzzbait, and I followed up with the jerk shad. What, you want the jerk shad and the buzzbait that I wasn't throwing? Okay. Smallmouth are greedy. They want everything. So this is a frequent occurrence when you're fishing small rivers. Actually, I didn't bring my saw this time. I had it on the Osprey, and I transferred over a lot of stuff, but I didn't transfer that over. But I think I can drag around the corner. If not, I'll probably hack my way through there. we'll see. There is a limit to how much I will do that, because if there's a whole lot of them and I'm just drifting downstream, it may convince me to turn around, head back up, find a different place to put in. But I did see some really interesting looking outside bends with rock further downstream that I'm anxious to fish. I think the rocky structure is what's rare here, and we have a little bit of that. You get them on these little creek mouths. It just deposits the rock right in front of the creek mouth, and that's a real common. Actually caught 2 smaller smallmouth off of that. But if you have deep water, you know, even you really can't see it, but there's a little notch in there just to the right of that root ball. But that's the kind of stuff that gives you that that rocky structure, when most of what you have here is clearly just sand. The worst of it. Oh, lots of fall fish. These smallmouth are definitely Virginia smallmouth. Not Pennsylvania smallmouth. All right. So far today I've seen a bald eagle, and I definitely flushed out a bunch of deer. I'm looking down at them. See those tails, white tails flipping. There were about 8 of them that I moved out of this island, just dragging through. Alright, checking off some species boxes. Got a little baby largemouth. So I for sure use my Fred Flintstone brakes a lot when I creek fish. That rear anchor is also a good thing to have, but just kicking your heel down in the water here is the quick way. It's nice to have a fairly low profile boat to do that with, because you can basically do it on either side immediately. You hang me up on a log? You did, didn't you? You were not small either. I'm gonna take my parking brake off here. See if this fish is still on. I don't feel him fighting. I don't think he is. Yeah, he's on there. He's a largie. No, that's a fall fish. That's a nice sized fall fish. Wow. Well, it's not quite a Josh Dolan size fall fish, but it's a pretty nice one. Little guy. Not quite so little. Whole lot of them that size and smaller. What are you? 13, maybe 13 and a half? Nah, not even. 12 and 3/4. So let's talk about wood and how high value it is. GoPro, stop recording. That was a big log, and I could see the root ball still had fresh clay on it, and it just has not been there that long. It will become what I refer to as permawood, wood that becomes integrated into the bank, or into it. Just becomes a more permanent fixture. Permawood is important, is high value. It's usually bigger single trunks that really become fish attractors. The little brush piles like the one I'm coming up on now, you know, you'll see it here in a minute. It's temporary. It's not going to be there forever. It's usually a jumble of smaller stuff like this. I'll turn so you can see it. And it's going to get blown out with the next high water event, or at least it's going to get shaped a little bit more. But downstream from it, this log is closer to what I'd call permawood. It's going to be there a long time, and if you have good deep water around it, it can be high value. You know, I will not cast at every little little brush pile that I come across, because there's so many of them. And you know, why you go there? That's harder to get you. You want to get yourself out? You want to fin me? I don't blame you if you want to fin me. So permawood is a higher value target. Ow, you finned me. And I deserve it, probably. The brush piles are not worth a whole lot. And the best permawood is in deep water and has a current feature on it somehow. Either it's creating a current seam or an ambush point, or it's right as water is decelerating or accelerating. One of the two. So let's go see if we can find some big permawood with a current feature on it. All right, let's just take a minute and assess what's in front of us. For sure, some of this wood in here, even in the middle, has some size to it, and I think is, you know, kind of bordering on being qualified as permawood. I don't know how much depth is going to be there. This is certainly fairly shallow here, but depending on the depth there, that may be a good target. What I really like, though, if you look down this shoreline, look at that rock. You know it's going to scour out deep. Even though we got this gravel bar in front of us, right along that bank, that's going to scour out and have some depth. So I'm probably going to put the Fred Flintstone brakes on somewhere right near that gravel bar, or the sand bar, and be casting down into that rocky structure all the way down. Ooh, look at that root ball on it too. I'm also going to be looking in these dead trees. Our bald eagle, I keep pushing him down. He's not there. He was, see the one, yeah, he was right there, and I pushed him down. I'd like to get them on film, because they're beautiful animals, and they're living a healthy life here on this creek. Lots of stuff to eat. I bet he eats the heck out of some fall fish. Oh, speaking of which, can you see those? It's a pile of them right there. It's like 8 of them. Used to play a game with my buddy Paul Gorman. We'd fish together. Smallmouth counted as 1 point. Every fall fish you caught was a demerit. You lose a point. And I've certainly had some days where I've ended with a deficit on the day. Is today going to be that day? I don't know. certainly feel one pecking at it over there. So it looks good from a distance, and I'm getting bit, but I'm getting bit everywhere by lots of smaller fish. And now that I'm here, I just don't see the depth that I was hoping. Yeah, there goes that bald eagle right there. Let's see if we can see where he lands. Oh, I got another species checked off the list. Isn't she pretty? Look at all that turquoise and beautiful yellow. Look at that beak. There he is. They always land on branches that don't have foliage. I think that their wingspan requires that much open area. So they're frequently on dead trees. If you know they're around, look for the dead trees. That one's not dead, but that was a nice place to land. There he goes. I will likely see him the rest of the day, on and off. It's just sort of how it goes. Alright, I didn't touch that rocky outside bend too much. I'm going to go back to it, work it from the downstream up. It's one thing that's nice about doing this down and back up type single access is you get a preview. You know what to paddle through and you know what to slow down. And you know, I would think I was focused on the eagle there, but I think there could be some good water in there. Good, one or two good fish. And good for here is, you know, I don't know. If I get a 14, I'm happy. So one of the things that I'll say that's different about my doing this sort of exploration now as opposed to, you know, when I first came to the upper end of this watershed, was that by now, back then, I would have absolutely been out of the boat. And I would have been doing this a lot more. I'm being a bit stubborn now, but I gotta get through and stay in a lot shallower water than I could back then. Because inflatables just, they keep you moving. They really keep you moving. Ahead of a nice pool with some rock, big rock. I like the looks of this pool. I'm right at the head of it. Hi. You come over to see me? Oh, -1 point. So this river has a lot of these shallow sandy flats that just don't have fish of any size. They got a lot of fish, but not big ones. But the reason I'm fishing this one as I come to it, because I can look downstream and see that it's easily connected to an outside bend on the right and some rocky features on the left. So longer pools, pools with rocky features, permawood, you know, a fish that's down there that lives there could easily come up into this shallow flat. So you always want to be looking downstream, assessing, you know, how good of a pool am I in? It may not look that great right here, but this could be the front door of a mansion, a big fish, you know, the kind where where you have that 16, 17, 18-inch fish that is down there most of the time. And he just cruises up here to see what's on his front lawn. That being said, you know, there are certain features, outside bends with a steep bank that cascades a bunch of rock in and has that permawood, 1 or 2 pieces on it, big old sycamore. I think the last big one that I know I caught up here, and it wasn't this stretch, was 18 and a half. It was actually a tributary coming into this small river, so even smaller water than what I'm on. And he was an 18 and a half incher on a root ball on the outside bend. I got a root ball here on an outside bend. Could happen. This is a outside bend fish. I think one of the longer ones that we've seen today. Alright, that one was on that rock corner, or a little bit upstream from it. See how big you are. Hey, he's 13. See you, guy. Alright, right down by the bridge, the last little bit of the pool is where I've seen the biggest smallmouth on this short float. I think I've done 2.5, maybe 3 miles. He was right in there and I snagged, so had to go in after him, but probably 15-incher. Right at the end of a long pool with an outside bend that ends right by the bridge. Now, if I had like 3 or 4 different sections through here that were like that, I mean, that didn't have the first 2.5, 2 3/4 miles that were just a lot of shallow water, I think this would have been a really good float, or a really good section to fish. But you gotta just explore and put eyes on it to really know what you're working with. There's I don't say there's no way. You get an idea by looking at Google Maps, but you know, it isn't until you lay eyes on it that you know, yep, this is it. This is right. And experience tells you what is right. And the last little bit of this was right, but I want to find more of what's right in this small water fishing. So we're going to go back up, try a different spot. It's 10:30. Still got a good chunk of the day to explore a different section.